Welcome to Maslow AI, Systems Thinking for Life Fulfillment. I'm John Betancourt. I spent 25 years as a systems engineer, mostly in aerospace, with one clear mission: make planes fly better and safer using systems thinking. You can read more about my background in the description below. The focus of this podcast is to teach you how to use systems thinking to make better life decisions. People rarely use systems thinking at all. They wing it. They generally try random hacks to fix their life problems. They use therapists, self help books, podcasts, and yes, YouTube videos. And they wonder why they keep crashing. Today, we're going to explore one simple question: why are some people crashing at work? Let me tell you about a friend of mine, Amanda, a young professional who works at my company. We use advanced technologies to help aerospace and defense companies select the best suppliers. Amanda works in our marketing department, and she came to me with a classic problem. I'm stuck and not moving forward on the projects you've given me, and I'm not sure what to do. This is the universal complaint of lots of our employees. Everyone feels stuck at some time or another. But here's what most people miss: being stuck isn't about capability, resources, or even opportunity. It's about mindset. I suggested to Amanda we take a walk and talk. That's my personal preference for important conversations. There's something about moving forward physically that helps people move forward mentally. What happened during that walk changed a lot for Amanda. As we walked, I explained something fundamental. In aerospace, we have a safety mindset that comes first before anything else. This isn't optional or situational, it's the foundational operating system. Without that foundational mindset, nothing else works. Every decision passes through the safety filter first. Traditional businesses ask, will this increase profit, efficiency, speed? Aerospace asks, will this compromise safety in any way? If no, then we ask, will this increase profit or efficiency? But we ask, will this compromise safety in any way first? Amanda asked the wrong question. Why am I not succeeding? The correct question when you have failures in life is, what mindset should I have? Most people never ask this. They assume their current mindset is fixed, natural, and inevitable. As we walked by a blood and urine diagnostic clinic, I saw a teaching opportunity. I asked her, Amanda, wouldn't you want to be a phlebotomist? A phlebotomist, she said. Why do you ask? A phlebotomist is a healthcare professional trained to draw blood from patients for medical testing, donations, or research. She took a long time to respond, which always amazes me, about how little people know about themselves and how little they reflect on who they are. Finally, I started asking specific questions. The job requires dealing with sick, elderly, and obese people, or obese people. Would you like that? She said no. The job requires you deal with people who faint at the sight of blood. Sometimes you have to call emergency services. Would you like that? She said no. Random people can walk in at all hours. It could be someone threatening or dangerous. As the only person in the office or the clinic, you might face scary situations. Would you like that? Definitely not. And also, by the way, the job pays very little, about $38,000 in the US. And in Mexico, it pays about $5,000 a year in US dollars. Her conclusion: I definitely don't want this job. I don't want to be a phlebotomist. I see, I said. Good to know. Now, Amanda, what if someone happened to kidnap your dog? I said, Pookie. And the only way to get him back was to work as a phlebotomist for 1 year, non negotiable. She said, I love my dog. You know that. And then, without hesitation, I would do it. Ah, well, that's what I mean by mindset. Your mind is usually set on autopilot. But under certain circumstances, like your dog being kidnapped, you can change it. This reveals three critical truths. One, current limitations aren't permanent. Two, capability exists when stakes are high enough. And three, most people operate far below their potential. Let me give you two examples how mindset must match role requirements. Canelo Alvarez, world champion Mexican boxer, must have a mindset that he's going to get punched in the face. That's part of his job. He can't shy away from that. Without that mindset, he couldn't do the job, let alone be successful. Now, on the other hand, a banker has a different mindset. A banker is not like Canelo. He probably won't get punched, but will be judged by how well he manages risk. Their mindset must be as risk averse as possible while finding low risk opportunities. Completely different mindset than Canelo Alvarez. Same success principle, mindset must match role requirements. Different jobs require different mindsets. Let me repeat, different jobs require different mindsets. So, what's Amanda's current mindset? Her operating assumption: do the least amount of work possible, focus on my annual bonus, make my lack of success my boss's problem. This mindset creates procrastination, stagnation, but most importantly, her brain focuses not on the problem, not on figuring out a solution, but just on what she wants someone else, namely me, to figure it out for her. The question for Amanda: what mindset does she have versus what mindset should she have to be successful at work? Current mindset: minimum viable effort. Required mindset: excellence oriented, growth focused, proactive engagement. Carol Dweck's research proves mindset determines capability. She worked in a poor neighborhood when students with fixed mindsets encountered errors. Brain scans showed nothing happening. But growth mindset students' brains were on fire with what she calls yet, actively processing errors and learning. Yet represents the growth mindset belief that you haven't mastered the skill, but you can. Yet represents the growth mindset that you don't understand the concept, but you will with effort. Yet represents the growth mindset that says you're not good at this yet, but you're on a learning curve. When students' brains were on fire with yet, it means they were actively processing errors as learning opportunities. Their brains were engaged in problem solving mode. They saw failure as temporary feedback, not permanent judgment. They were thinking, I can't do this yet, instead of, I can't do this, which is what Amanda was thinking. This is neuroscience proof that mindset determines how your brain processes challenges. Amanda's brain was literally shutting down when she hit obstacles on our company's projects. Someone with a growth mindset would be actively learning from the same setbacks. The difference isn't intelligence or capability. Amanda's plenty intelligent, plenty capable. It's how your brain responds to challenges. Here's what Amanda needs and what you need if you're stuck. Amanda thought she had a capability problem. She actually had a mindset problem. The good news: mindset can be developed. First, let's remember our friend, the phlebotomist, or for that matter, Canelo Alvarez, the world champion boxer. What are the icky requirements of the job? Does this job require getting punched in the face? Now, step zero, ask yourself, are you willing to put up with that in order to be a champion or at least do the job? If the answer is yes, then move on to step one. What beliefs about work are you operating from? Then move on to step two. What mindset would create the results you want? Now move on to step three. What would need to be at stake for you to naturally adopt that mindset? Does your dog need to be kidnapped? Try to design structures that keep you in the required mindset without external crisis. Don't wait for a crisis to access your full potential. Act on this now. It only gets harder with time. Now, you might be wondering, what does Amanda's mindset problem have to do with Maslow. This channel, after all, is Maslow AI. In 1943, psychologist Abraham Maslow created a framework for human motivation, the hierarchy of needs. His core insight: human needs are interconnected. But Maslow was working with 1943 tools, as we've often said on this podcast. What if we applied modern systems engineering to Maslow's brilliant framework? That's Maslow AI. Maslow's hierarchy updated with 80 years of scientific discovery. However, you can have the best framework, Maslow's framework, even our updated Maslow AI framework, but without the correct mindset, you are not going to move the needle. Your tiers won't be aligned. You get exactly Amanda's problem: wrong mindset, bad results. This is why random self help doesn't work. It treats symptoms in isolation instead of optimizing the whole human system. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but why is mindset change so hard? There are barriers that thwart your ability to adopt the mindset you want. Fear literally shuts down high order thinking. Failure mode sees failure as your identity, not feedback, so you don't want to try anything new for fear of failing. Procrastination means you just keep putting things off on and on and on. And then, of course, disempowering beliefs. You just say to yourself, I'm not good at X. I'm not even going to bother trying. So you have the total mindset. It would be as if Canelo Alvarez never even stepped into the ring and gave himself a chance. Moreover, there is peer group pressure. People don't believe in you. Try to find people and get people around you that encourage you to try new things and challenge yourself. Don't let other people keep you stuck. They should be there as your cheerleaders, as your motivators, as your coaches. Look for those types of people in your life. The key insight: these barriers are in your head. So solutions involve changing your mind. In other words, change your mindset, change your life. Here's your homework this week. Ask yourself Amanda's question: what mindset should I have to really excel at my job? Identify your current mindset in one area that you're stuck. Define what mindset someone would need to have in order to excel in that area. Find your Pookie. In other words, what would need to be at stake for you to naturally adopt that mindset? If you adopt those 3 steps, that will make a change in your life. It doesn't happen overnight, but over time, the more and more you focus on that, the better off you will be. If this episode helped you understand why Amanda was crashing, hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if you believe someone could benefit from this podcast, don't forget to share. And also don't forget to leave comments in the comments below. Tell me what's one area where you realize you have a wrong mindset that would allow you to achieve what you want to achieve. Remember, your current mindset is optional. I'm John Betancourt. Don't just work harder, think in systems.